I am full. I just had a big bowl of vegetables, put some chicken in it, and man, do the bulky vegetables make you full. It's not like eating a salad. Yeah, you know what I'm talking about. This is Caleb Jones. This is Alpha Male 2.0, the Alpha Male 2.0 podcast. And today we're going to talk about a topic that's a little complicated, and I will do my best to explain it. And that is weight loss as it relates to female sexual desire. What in the hell am I talking about? Well, I will explain that. As I said, I just got done eating a big fucking bowl of vegetables, and one of the reasons I did that, so basically it was a bowl of, let's see, broccoli, carrots, cauliflower, all chopped up, and then some cooked chicken, and I just kind of mixed them together and put a little bit of honey mustard in there and just mixed the whole thing. And doing that now instead of, well, I'm alternating. I was not gonna say instead of, but I'm alternating that and just doing the salad thing where you just, you know, have a big pile of lettuce and cabbage and stuff and you throw the salad in there, and I put onions in there and things like that. And this is all part of my weight loss stuff. I really love losing weight. It's great. It's one of the most fun things in my life. Can you hear the sarcasm? So let me describe to you what my weight loss goals are and what I'm doing right now. And soon, at least maybe a few days after I record this podcast, and you're listening to this podcast maybe 2-3 weeks or maybe even more after I actually record it. So you're actually getting a taste of the past here. But soon I'll do another quick YouTube video where I weigh myself on the scale and show you how much I've lost and kind of what I'm doing with my eating stuff. And so I'll do that on YouTube. But in terms of my weight loss goals, I had a few guys in the last AMA I did ask me about this. And this is an important topic because I know from my unscientific polling and surveying of my audience, very unscientific, that most of you over the age of 30 need to lose some weight. Now that goes from the guy who is really, really fucking fat all the way down to the guy who's, you know, just kind of let things go over the past 5 or 6, 7 years. You're starting to get that little belly down there, right? You're starting to get the love handles, starting to get the man boobs poking out a little bit. You know, maybe you're like 32. You know, you're just starting to see that shit because you've been lazy, right? And frankly, a decent percentage, although not most, but some of you are younger than 30. Some of you guys in your 20s need to lose a little weight. And the good news for you guys is that it's a lot easier to lose weight in your 20s than it is when you are almost 50 like me. But that's a topic for another time. So in terms of weight loss, I'll give you some numbers just from my life because I didn't realize you guys were interested in this stuff, but apparently some of you are. So my goal weight is to get down to 195 pounds. Why did I come up with that number? Well, that's what I weighed in high school. My senior year of high school, I weighed 195 pounds, and I vividly remember how I looked as a senior in high school, plus I have some old photos, but I have a pretty good memory of that, and I looked pretty damn good at 195. I'm a big guy, I have a very broad build. You can see whether or not you have a big build or a normal build if you take your middle finger and your thumb and you wrap them gently around your wrist. If your fingers touch, you have what's called a standard build. If your fingers do not touch, you have a big build, which means you can weigh a little more and you carry a little more weight a little better. And mine do not touch. They're not even anywhere close to touching, even though my wrist is pretty thin. So I'm a big guy. So at 195, I looked pretty good. I'm 5'10 and a half, if you want to know how tall I am. So I'm not super tall, but I'm not short. And I have a big build. I have big shoulders, big chest, very big legs. I'm a big guy, big torso, big dude. So 195, that is the objective I had, and that is the objective I've had for my entire adult life. And so one thing about that goal is that I fully understand and acknowledge that 195 pounds with my body size at age 18 may look a little different than 195 pounds with the same guy at age 49, which is me. So that is my objective, but once I hit that objective, I'm gonna stand in front of a mirror completely naked with the lights fully on, and I'm gonna take a good long look at myself, and I'm gonna rate myself, and I'll tell you how I'm gonna rate myself in a second. And if I don't look good enough, in my opinion, then I will reset that goal to 185 pounds, and then see how I look then, and then reevaluate again. It's also entirely possible I may look at myself and say, this looks good, or perhaps this looks good enough. And then I will suspend that part of my fitness plan and shift my fitness plan over to the next phase where I will gain muscle mass and engage in more athletic exercises and not worry so much about losing body fat. I will maintain the body fat percentage, but I won't worry about losing body fat. It'll shift into more of a muscle growth phase. Now, some personal history in terms of weight numbers. So right now I'm somewhere in the 220s. When I do the YouTube video, I'll weigh myself and you can see exactly how much I weigh based on today's date, which changes every week. But anyway, in terms of the lowest I've ever weighed in my adult life, so outside of high school, the lowest I ever got was 206 pounds. And I don't really count that because that was only because of a very aggressive fasting protocol I was doing. And this was about 15, 16, 17 years ago in the early 2000s. And so I was only at that weight for literally a few days, and then I just started gaining the weight back. So I don't really count that weight as, oh, I achieved that goal, but technically I did weigh that on the scale. So in terms of a sustainable weight so far in my adult life, that was around 211 pounds. And that was about, I don't know, I want to say 6 years ago, maybe 7 years ago, 6 years ago, something like that. Where I was 211 pounds and I was looking pretty good. That's one of the first times in my adult life I looked in the mirror and said, damn, I actually look pretty good. This isn't bad. All right. 211 pounds, and I sustained that weight for about 2 months, and then I started sliding back up again. So that is the lowest I've actually achieved in terms of being for real. The lowest weight I've been able to achieve and maintain for a decent amount of time in my adult life is 215 pounds. And I'm pretty close to that right now. I'm not there yet, but I'm pretty close. And I've been able to maintain that for, I don't really remember. I don't keep specific numbers on this. 6 months, maybe a year. And I've done that maybe 2-3 times over the course of my adult life. So when I get below 211 pounds in a sustainable way, I'm gonna be very excited. And when I hit 195, I'm gonna be very excited because that's my goal. Now, let me talk about this in terms of dating success, because I realize that is the reason why most of you who need to lose weight probably want to lose weight is to get better with women. I have talked about this extensively. I'm not going to repeat myself on this, but I'm just going to overview this. You should lose weight for you, not for chicks. You should lose weight for you, not for women. You should lose weight because of the health benefits, because of the increased energy you'll have throughout the day, because of your increased self-esteem, because of your increased income. And there are definitely real empirical studies that show when you look better, you tend to make more money. And there's a lot of reasons for that, both logistical reasons and subconscious reasons. You should lose weight for these reasons. You should not lose weight because I want to get a hot girlfriend, or I want to bang supermodels, or I want to bang Instagram 10s, or whatever the fuck. Now, if that's the only goal that actually motivates you to lose weight, then I'm not going to stand in your way. Go ahead and do that. I just think that is a terrible, terrible objective. As I have said many times, my woman life on a scale from 1 to 10 is an 11 right now. It is not just what I wanted. It is far beyond the wildest and craziest woman goals I have ever set for myself at any point in my life. As a matter of fact, one of the main reasons I have not gotten down to my goal weight in my adult life, certainly in the last 15 years since converting to Alpha Male 2.0, is because my woman life has been so goddamn good since, since 2008. My woman life has been fucking amazing. So my subconscious mind said, why bother dieting? Why eat this broccoli when I can have Taco Bell? I'm still getting laid. The chicks are still hot. They don't care. Who cares? So that's one of the reasons. Now, that's not the reason. The reason is I definitely have some psychological problems with eating food, which a lot of people don't have, and you're lucky. And if you're overweight and you don't have that problem, you're gonna lose weight relatively quickly and relatively simply. I've talked about this on my blogs, where I've known guys who were like, 60, 70 pounds overweight. And they just were overweight because they got lazy. They didn't have the psychological issues with food that I had. So once they decided to lose weight, they lost all the weight. 60, 70 pounds. I know 3 guys like this personally. 60, 70 pounds, 50 pounds, and they lost it like in 6 months. Boom, no problem, and they just kept it off. And I'm like, how the hell did you do that? I've been struggling for that for 10 years. And they're like, I just stopped eating burgers and I stopped drinking beer. To them, it's very simple because they didn't have a psychological component like I do. So anyway, that's not an excuse. Everything in my life is my fault. So it's my fault I weigh the way I weigh. That's just a factor. So anyway, what I'm trying to point out to you is that I'm not trying to lose weight to get hotter girls. I don't need to get hotter girls. Not today. Are you kidding? They can't get any hotter. And I'm speaking literally. So my motivations for losing weight, for me now, this is for me, I'm talking about me, have nothing whatsoever to do with women or how much women are attracted to me or how much women like me or whatever the hell. It really doesn't. But I know that's probably not true with most of you who need to lose weight. So what I'm going to explain to you is a way you can use this as some sort of gauge. If you don't take my advice and you just have to lose weight based on what you think women will view you as, then I'm going to give you a way to do this. Now, again, I want to reiterate one more time, that you should have many other reasons to lose weight besides chicks, okay? Please, I don't think it's healthy in terms of long-term mental health and self-esteem to only want to lose weight only because you want to get a girl. To me, that smacks of beta male. So I don't think it's a good idea, but it's your life, you do whatever you want. And I realize that weight loss is a highly personal thing, and it's also a highly customizable thing because every guy is very different. Every guy has a different body. Every guy has different issues with their bodies. Every guy has strengths and weaknesses when it comes to losing body fat or gaining muscle or losing muscle. There are some athletic guys who are really little and are really good at the cardio stuff. There are some big beefy guys like me who are much more suited to lifting weights and things like that. I understand all that. Plus the psychological reasons. There's a myriad of psychological reasons why some people are overweight versus other people. That's something I had to learn in the last 2-3 years. I didn't realize that. I thought that all overweight people had the same problem. I didn't realize that some people have different reasons, different psychological reasons and psychological barriers, if any, to losing weight than others. So that's why I'm trying to cover all the bases here. So let me get to what I'm leading up to here. And maybe this will help you and maybe this won't. By the way, this can also help you in terms of your dating life and in terms of other aspects of your physical appearance. So not just your weight, but everything I talk about in the book, Get to Sex Fast. GetToSexFast.com. That's my book on how to go from 0 to having sex on the second date within 3 to 4 hours of FaceTime with less than $27 spent. It's something I've done a billion times over and over again. So in terms of your physical appearance, beyond your weight, which would be things like your grooming, your hair, your teeth, your skin, your fashion, what you're wearing, your body language, how you stand, how you sit, things like that. That all applies to how a woman interprets your physical appearance and your physical attractiveness, right? Right. And we're only talking about physical attractiveness here. We're not talking about confidence or outcome independence and things like that. Those are super important topics that I talk about in other places. We're talking here about strictly physical appearance. So I want you to visualize a scenario. You're on a, let's call it a second date. Well, it's not really a date. So you're following the Black Dragon system, you're following my system, you're on the second date or second meet with a new woman. Let's say she's relatively young. I don't know how old you are, but let's say she's 22 years old and she's really hot. Let's say she's a 9, okay? Or at least a 9 to you, okay? So she's 22, young and hot, okay? Hot, again, in terms of what you would view hot. Every guy has a different version of what a 9 looks like. So you picture your version of a 22-year-old 9, that's this chick, okay? And she's over at your place and you're ready to have sex. You can tell she's ready to have sex, okay? She's there. She's all warmed up, you've been making out and you're taking her clothes off and things like that. And I want you to imagine that you get up and say, hang on, I'll be right back. You leave, let's say you're in your living room and she's on the couch or something, you're gonna have sex on the floor or some shit. That's usually what I do. So what you do is you leave and you take off all your clothes. You're fucking naked, buck naked. And you just walk back into the living room naked, head to toe, and I want you to assume that it is the middle of the day in broad daylight and all the lights are turned on. So now she can see everything, okay? Everything in your body, she can see it, okay? There's no hiding, there's no shadows, there's no camera angles, she can see everything on your body, okay? And you just walk in and say, hey baby, let's do it, or whatever you want to say. It doesn't really matter what you say. You would not say that, please. I'm making a joke, don't say that. But let's say you just said, all right, let's get down to it, let's get down and dirty, bro. Woo! All right, let's say you said that. What would her reaction be in terms of your physical appearance now? Not in terms of your attitude, not in terms of whether or not she likes you, just purely physically. Now, what most people think, or what most men think, is that it's a yes or a no. So a woman will look at you in that scenario and say, yes, I'll fuck this guy, or ooh, no, I won't fuck this guy. Ooh, no, okay? That's not correct. There is actually many variations of yes in that scenario because women are not yes or no creatures. We are men. We are black and white yes or no creatures. Women are not. Women are all kinds of gray. Women are more nuanced and more complicated. So it's not just a yes or a no. There are variations of yes. And I will give you those levels of yes. And you can imagine this on a chart. Maybe I should draw this chart out and do a video on this. If you guys want me to do this, let me know. If you want me to draw out this chart and talk about this in video format, maybe I'll do that or put on my website, something like that. So you want to visualize a chart. It's a hierarchy, okay? At the very top of the yes hierarchy, you have something called yes. It's when a woman says yes. Not just yes, but it's this is all mental now. She doesn't say this is mentally. Her brain goes, yes. So that would be if you're Brad Pitt, right? If you're Brad Pitt or you're, one of those guys, Hugh Jackman in his prime, as Wolverine, you take off your clothes and you look fucking amazing. You're a 10, you're a male 10. And she goes, oh, yes, yes. So that's a yes, but it's a very enthusiastic, excited yes, okay? All right. The next level below that is just yes. She just looks at you and she says, in her brain, she says, yes, yes. That means you're moderately attractive, right? You're attractive to her. There's nothing problematic about your body. She's like, yes, yes, I'm ready to go. Yes, good. I looked at him, I see his body. Yes, okay? It's just a yes. It's not yes, but it's yes, okay? Then below yes is another level. Okay, it's a one level below yes. And that is, it's called okay. Okay, not yes, it's just okay, okay. Now what okay means in a woman's brain is, I like this guy, I'm attracted to this guy, his body isn't perfect, there's one or two problems, but okay, I'll have sex with him, I can overcome those things, that's fine. Now this is a good example of when your body has some kind of problem, like maybe you are shorter than what she would like, or maybe you're more overweight a little bit, not a lot, but a little bit more overweight than she would like, or maybe you are a different race than she's accustomed to, or something like that, but she is still very attracted to you because of your non-physical attributes, your confidence, your outcome independence, you handle the first and second dates perfectly, you followed all my stuff. So she likes you, she's attracted to you, she doesn't think you're perfect, but she'll go there, she'll have sex with you because she'll go, okay, okay. Now, I'm relatively sure that a lot of women who have had sex with me in my past, including some of the really hot ones and young ones, were probably okay. I mean, okay, I like this guy, I'm attracted to him. He's a little chubby, but okay. So it's a little different than yes, and it's very different than yes. You see the difference? There's levels to this shit. Okay, now, there's a level below okay, and that is, that's the level. It's just called, I don't even know how to spell that. How do you spell, So here's, means this guy's not good. This guy is not attractive. I just don't want to go there. Now, is not no. So if you have a lot of leverage, if you have a lot of confidence, if you're a very confident guy, or maybe if you're a really wealthy guy and it's some kind of sugar daddy scenario, or maybe she's had a little to drink or something, you can take and have sex with a girl who's a you can do that. Okay, you could now in my opinion, you don't want to. I have a big thing about this because I was in a traditional monogamous marriage for 9 years and I went through this and I vowed I would never go through this again. I never, ever, ever want to have sex with a woman who doesn't want to have sex with me, who's just doing it to put up with whatever. I never, ever, ever want that. So if I ever detect a woman as a, in my world, she's out the door. I'm going to be very polite. The date is over. We're moving on. I don't want to have sex with this woman. I don't care if she's a fucking 10. And I don't care if we have a good chance of having sex. I don't want to go there. That's me. That may not be you. A matter of fact, that's probably not most men. Most men, if she's hot, if it's, they don't care. They want to get laid and they want to tap that ass. Fine. But I'm just saying that is the fourth level of yes. Okay, it's well below okay. It's, and you can convince a woman to have sex with you with, although she won't be super excited about it. Now, is it possible you could take a woman who's a, and turn her into an okay later? Yes, you certainly can. I've seen guys do this. Yes, you can. If you have very good alpha male relationship management game, you can certainly do that. Again, I wouldn't do that, but that's me. Then the level below is no. No, she thinks you're gross. She thinks you're unattractive. She's not having sex with you. It doesn't matter what you do, okay? So notice it's not just a yes or a no. There's about 4 levels of yes in a woman's mind, right? And then there's a no. And the only time, frankly, that a woman is gonna fuck you if the answer is a no is if she's a hooker. Not a sugar baby, because they can be very picky and they are. I'm talking about a hooker. It's her job to fuck you, so she has to fuck you. Then she'll fuck you. That's the only time you can fuck a no. Other than that, no. If a woman thinks you're a no, you're not gonna have sex with her. It doesn't matter what you do. It doesn't matter how much game you've got or all that shit. Okay? Okay. Now, one more thing about that is a woman can be on the lower end of the scale, a no or an eh. She can be on that scale if there's nothing really wrong with you, but you're not her type. So fortunately for us men, most women do not have a physical type, which we men do. If I told you right now to envision your perfect 10, your perfect physical type, boom, you'd have that picture instantly because you know exactly what you want. Women are not exactly like this. Women, most women anyway, don't have a type, but some do. Some do. And if you're the blatant opposite to her type, even if you're a decent looking guy, she still could probably say no or maybe because you're just not her type. For example, I knew a woman once who only had sex with really, really skinny guys. And when I mean skinny guys, I'm talking like skeleton dudes. I thought it was kind of gross, and she was pretty hot. She would not have sex with me. She'll never have sex with me because I am nowhere near that type. She had a very, very particular type. Now, on the flip side, there are some women who are really small, which is what I like. I like small little chicks who really like big guys. Big guys with big shoulders and big heads and big legs like me. And so they see me and they go, ooh. So this can work to your advantage or disadvantage depending on the scenario. And certainly if you put in the numbers, you're going to run into both sets of women. Women where you are not her type at all, sorry, there's nothing you can do. Or women where you are exactly her type, and as long as you don't fuck up, you're in there. Even if you've got some problematic stuff, even if you're a little overweight or what have you. So swinging this all the way back to woman goals, in my opinion, if this is a goal you have, a weight loss goal or improving your physical fitness appearance goal with women, then you should be into at least the okay zone, okay? So you want to be an okay or a yes, at least that. Now, if you want to get to the yes zone, then that's fine, but that's going to take a lot of work. And if you're over the age of 45, it is very unlikely you'll ever get to the yes, okay? That's unlikely. Very few men over the age of 45 are going to look like Hugh Jackman. There are some out there. There definitely are some, absolutely true, but these are the bizarre exceptions to the rule. You have to be well under 45, probably under 35 to get to an easy body where the answer is yes, where you're at that top level. And frankly, you're going to be working very, very hard to maintain that year round. I mean, honestly, how many guys do you know honestly now who maintain an 8% body fat or less year round, 12 months out of the year? You see my point? And most guys don't want to work that hard. So now that doesn't mean you need to be at 8% body fat to be at the yes level. But what I'm saying to you is, especially if you're an older dude and you recently got out of a divorce or some long relationship and you've been out of the dating game for a while, what you want to do is get into the zone where you know for sure that that cute 22-year-old nine is going to be at least a okay if she sees you naked in broad daylight. Make sense? I think that's a good goal to hit for. I think it's an achievable goal for just about any guy. Okay, unless you have some real serious problems, which are unusual and statistically rare. Now for me, I'm already there. I'm in the okay or the yes. I'm not the yes, and I will probably never be the yes. I probably won't. I mean, I'm 49 years old, and yes, I take TRT and I lift weights and I do human growth hormone, and so maybe I shouldn't say that. Maybe I shouldn't be so negative. So maybe there is a possibility down the road if everyone will go crazy, get my body fat down and get some muscles up, and I could be in the yes cat, but I don't think so, nor is that one of my objectives. But my objective is to get out of the okay and into the yes zone. Now that's not my objective in terms of why I want to lose weight, as I said earlier. That is a byproduct of me getting down to my goal weight of 195 pounds. When I'm down there, or 195 or 185, not sure yet, I will be, at least for most women, I will be solidly in the yes category, or at least a high end of okay, the high end of that. So that's just a way of thinking about this in terms of your attractiveness to women. And again, a lot of guys seem to think that women are like men. It's a yes or a no. That's not correct. I'm sorry, that's not right. And that's an advantage to us. That's an advantage. Because if you sit down with a woman on a first date, the first time she sees you in real life, if you're doing online dating, or if you're doing direct cold approach, so day game, night game, she sees you the first time, usually she's not going to go, no. That's not going to be her immediate response when she first sees you. What she's going to do is she's going to say, I don't know. Let's see. Let's see what this guy does. Let's see how stupid he is. Let's see if he fucks this up. Let's see how he speaks, how he talks, how he moves. Let's see if he acts crude, et cetera, so forth and so on. And then that determines success. The only time it's directly a no is if you are horrific looking. You are really, really bad. If you are, 400 pounds, if you got fucked up, just jagged teeth, if you smell like a horrible body odor, that kind of stuff, right? But if you're the typical average guy, most women who are normal women are gonna say, okay, let's see what this guy does. The exception to that might be very high-end 10s. Okay, fine. If you meet Scarlett Johansson at a party, assuming she was still single, then okay, maybe not. But you get my point. And it sort of works the same way in terms of physical attractiveness with women based on how your face looks, your skin, your body weight, your height, and things like that. That's exactly why guys who are chubby, like me, can be very successful with women. It's harder work. You got to put in much more numbers. Back before I lost the weight, I had to put in a lot of numbers. I had to work very, 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 very hard to get the results I was getting, but I was getting results. Same thing also with guys who are short. Occasionally I'll get emails from guys who say, hey man, I'm 5'5", what do I do? Well, you got to amp up the game. You got to amp up the confidence, amp up the outcome independence, amp up the gain skill. Like a guy who's really chubby, you have to put in the numbers and do everything right. And I'll leave you with this story. I mentioned this story before. I've talked about this before. Maybe in the SMIC program, I forget where I talked about this. But I'm going to demonstrate why this effort is worth it, because it is worth it. You guys who want to lose weight or get bigger muscles for women, here's what happened to me. So years ago, when I lost the big pile of weight, about 40 pounds, which was very hard for me. It was painful. I hate losing weight. I love eating food. Long story. But anyway, I got the weight down. I did some other things too. I fixed my hair. I had a gap in my tooth. I fixed that. I kind of improved my fashion a little bit. Early on, the first few years I was doing this, I would wear shirts that didn't fit me well, way too big. I kind of tightened that up. So I improved my physical appearance. Spent several years doing this. And this was, let's see, when this happened, this particular event, this was about, 6 years ago, I want to say. So what, I was in my mid 40s. And I had a first date with a woman who was 20, let's see, how old was she? I'm going to say 23. Was she 22? I'll say she was 23. I think she was 23. She might have been 22, but I'll say she was 23. And she is my exact type, or was my exact type. Blonde, short, hot, curvy, young, all good. Everything daddy likes. And so we met at a Starbucks for our first meet. It was his online dating, of course. I'm Black Dragon, how it goes. And per my Black Dragon dating system rules, you always show up to the first date 5 minutes after she does. You don't want to sit there twiddling your thumbs while she walks in and meets you. You want to walk in after she's walked in. So I confirmed she was at the Starbucks. She had just arrived. So I came in 5 minutes after her, 3 or 4 minutes after, whatever. And I walked into Starbucks, and it was a nice day outside. So she was sitting at one of the round tables in the middle of the room, or the middle of the deli, whatever. And her head was turned away from me. She was looking at something outside. So I just walked in and just sat down in front of her and did it kind of quietly. So she still hadn't turned her head. And I just said, hi. And she, suddenly turned her head and looked at me. She, oh. And first thing I noticed, very happy, is she was as hot as her pictures. And with online dating, sometimes that's always a fear, like, please be as hot as your pictures. Please, please. Sometimes they're even hotter than their pictures. But thank God she was just as hot as her pictures. I'm like, oh, damn, she's a hottie. Okay, good. We're going to have some fun, hopefully. And she turned, she looked at me, and the first words out of her mouth were, wow, you're really good looking. And I went, oh. I didn't say that. I just said thank you, but I thought this. I'm like, oh, well, that's new. That hasn't happened before. Her and I were having sex within 25 minutes. First date. I was spending no money. I didn't even buy her anything at the Starbucks. So after that was all over with, I said, okay, it was worth it. This works. I guess this is all working. I guess it does help to lose weight. I guess it does help to clean up your appearance. And by the way, I saw her for the next, 2.5 years consistently or so, something like that. Great relationship, wonderful person. So yes, losing weight, getting up your muscle mass, especially if you're a skinny dude or an Asian dude, improving your fashion, improving your overall physical appearance, and improving things like your body posture, your body language, which has a direct relation on how women visually perceive you. Working on these things does help. So if that's one of your motivations to look better, that's great, that's fine. Please add in some other things. And even back then, I didn't lose weight just for women. I had a lot of reasons for losing weight, a lot of very personal reasons that had nothing to do with sex or women. But yes, it does help, it does work, and it's worth doing, again, not just for women, but for your overall lifestyle, your overall energy levels, your overall happiness, particularly as you enter into your 40s. For you old motherfuckers like me, if you're in your 40s, 50s, 60s, this becomes even more important. So that's it. So this whole weight loss thing is a complicated topic. If you want me to discuss this more, I can. Just let me know, and I will see you very soon. Have fun. Bye.